Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back after spring break. I hope you guys had a great time just relaxing for an entire week. Maybe you got outside in the sunshine, maybe you read a good book, maybe you played all those video games that you've been enjoying. But it's so good to see you again, and I can't wait to Zoom with you guys later on today for science, because we're going to do a pretty cool experiment. But this is the beginning of Spirit Week, and today is Move-a-thon Monday. So hopefully you have on your Move-a-thon shirt. It could be this year's, it can be any of the years past, but this is the one I chose for today. So happy Move-a-thon Monday. And here's what we got in store. We've got our regular schedule. We're back on track. And we've got math, we've got handwriting, reading, and science. So today we're actually going to meet for a Zoom meeting. So we'll talk in class together for science, and then I'm also going to put a YouTube video on here so that when you leave the Zoom meeting, you know what you're supposed to do, because we're going to talk a little bit about climate again, but then you have a project to do that you guys will get to share on Friday in a Zoom meeting. So I just want to make sure that when we leave, you know what to do. So keep watching through the whole video, and the science will be at the end. Can't wait to see you later on today. Happy Move-a-thon Monday! Hello, welcome to math. For starters, you're going to need this packet, and this is the only thing you're going to need today other than scissors and glue and, of course, your pencil. So please make sure you have the math packet that says 420 through 424, okay? And it starts with measurement, area, and perimeter. So we're going to do area and perimeter for the next week and a half, and then we'll switch and do geometry. I know there's a lot of math packets in your folder, but this one should be the one on top. This is going to be the one we're starting with, and you don't even need your workbook today, just this. So we are starting with perimeter today, and you guys, area and perimeter is one of my favorite subjects. So I'm going to write it out a way that helps me remember. Perimeter. So when I write it this way, perimeter is the rim of something or the outside. And the way I always like to explain it is, here's my house. Okay, and I have all this yard out here, okay? And here's Fluffy. And Fluffy loves to play outside all the time, okay? But also outside is this busy street. And that is really dangerous for Fluffy. We don't want Fluffy to run out in the street. But when I am at work or Fluffy's outside without me, there's a really good chance that Fluffy could run away, and we don't want that. So we have to build Fluffy a fence, okay? Here is Fluffy's fence. That's not the whole backyard, because maybe I want to do some gardening or have a place where Cece can run. So here is Fluffy. Now Fluffy's in the fence and Fluffy cannot get out. But in order to build this fence, I have to figure out how much wood I need to go around the outside. This is the rim, perimeter being the outside. How much wood do I need if I'm going to go to Home Depot to get wood for that fence? So I have to do some measuring, you guys. And so I'm going to go outside and I'm going to get my tape measure and I'm going to say, how many feet long is it? How many feet wide is this area that I am trying to fence in? Okay, so I'm going to say this right here is 20 feet. And this side I'm going to say is 12 feet. Okay, now because this is a perfect rectangle right here, this is also going to be 20 feet. We know that rectangles opposite sides are the same, which means that this is also 12 feet. So now I know how far around it is, or at least what each side is. And in order to go to Home Depot and say I need this much wood, I need to do a little math, okay? And perimeter is you are adding up all the sides. Side plus side plus side plus side equals perimeter, okay? So I need to add up all these sides. So 20 plus 20 plus 12 plus 12 is going to give me the perimeter, or the air, the space around. I need to stack it because this is always the best way for me to do my adding. So 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 is 4. 2, 4, 5, 6, 64. Now I'm not done yet because I need to label with the unit feet. 64 feet. So now I can say, I'm walking to Home Depot and I can say, hi there, I'm trying to build a fence that is 64 feet long. And they're gonna say, okay, you need this amount of wood. If I just went in and say, I need to build a fence, they're gonna say, I don't know how much you need. So you need to know that number. So let's do a little bit of practice. Remember Fluffy inside his fence, okay? And remember that you need to know the perimeter is the rim or the outside. What does the length measure around the outside? So I'm gonna keep Fluffy here. Here's your packet. If you flipped to the back of this first one, look, there's perimeter right there, and it says the measurement of the distance around an object. Around. So side plus side plus side plus side. If I had a square here and all the sides were 5, the distance around would equal 20. So let's do some practice right here, you guys. Okay, you guys can go ahead and do this with me, please. Now I've got squares here, I'm gonna use those squares. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 across. So if I drew this rectangle right here, I first need to start by counting up each side. So I see that this side is 3 long, or 3 wide, which means that this side right here, this is also 3. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This side is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that works because I have a rectangle, so I know that opposite sides are the same. Let's say that these are centimeters. Okay, so now I know what each side is, and I have to find the perimeter. So what is the total distance around? So I need to add up each side. So 5, 5, 3, and 3. Don't forget to label. 5 and 5 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 centimeters. The perimeter for this one, so P for perimeter equals 16 centimeters. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, you're counting with me. This side is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I have a rectangle, this side is also 4. This side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that these are inches. So I have to add up all of the sides. 5, 4, 5, 4. They're all inches. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Did you also get 18? Okay, so if you have a parent with you, they could draw you a couple and you could do the perimeter, or you could just draw some, just draw, and then go ahead and count and challenge yourself. If you want a real big challenge, you could do something that is not a perfect rectangle. And let me show you something like this. You still need to figure out all of the sides, but this one has more than 4 sides. So let's start with this side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call this centimeters on this side. This one is 2 centimeters. There's 1 right here, centimeter. 1, 2, 3 centimeters on this side. 1, 2, 3 centimeters on this side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters on this side. So I actually have quite a few more sides that I need to add. So I have a 4, a 2, a 1, a 3, a 3, and a 5. That's a lot more sides. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did you also get 18? Notice that these two have the same perimeter, but they look very different. So you would need the same amount of wood to build a fence around both of these, even though they're different shapes, and that's okay. Let me give you another couple that you can practice on your own. If you want a big challenge, you guys. Here's a challenging one because you need all of these sides. But if you're just looking for some extra practice that you'd like me to give you, here's one. Here's one. And there is one. Go ahead and do the perimeter of these 4, or just a couple of them. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do, after you've gone ahead and do that, you can push pause if you want to go ahead and do the perimeter now, or you can just stay and listen to the directions and come back later. So we're going to create a yard for your dog. Here's Fluffy. I already got him out already. You can name your dog whatever you want, but you've got a dog house, a dog dish, and a bone. And you are going to, it says, cut out the dog house, bone, and dog bowls. You're going to cut the rest of these pieces out. Place them on the grid paper, but you're going to leave some space between the objects. So I can put maybe the dog over here, and you're going to put them on here, but don't glue them down yet. Do not glue down. Once you have what you think is the best setup, draw a fence to create the dog's yard. So just like I did right here for Fluffy's yard, you are going to do it on the next page. So let me cut out my other pieces. We can color them later. That's not something that's important right now. But we've got to get all these pieces out. And you are going to decide the best setup. So it says don't glue down because you want to be able to move them around in case you like a different setup. And basically what we're going to do is we need to use straight lines to figure out a perimeter. So there's my dog, here's my house. Maybe I want the house over here. He's running around a little bit. Maybe I want him sleeping in his house. Maybe Fluffy is going to get a drink of water. Maybe Fluffy's chewing on his bone. However you want to rearrange this, but you are going to create a perimeter for your dog. The rule is it cannot be the whole sheet. It has to be something inside. So you're going to draw it however you want. Here's my dog house. I'm going to put here. I'm going to put him going to the dog house, and his water and his bone are close by. Here's going to be, so it says use straight lines. Please draw them on the lines as best you can. It means you might need to go a little slow, but I'm not drawing them between the squares. I'm drawing it right on the lines. If you draw in between, it's going to be really hard to count. Oops. Okay, so now that I've done that, I have to find my perimeter. So I've got to do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, this is 10. I'll call this inches. You can choose whether you want it feet, inches, centimeters, whatever it is. You just need to label it so that, just so you have a label. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on this side. And because I drew a rectangle, I know this side is 10 and this side is 11. If you drew something that's not a rectangle, then you need to make sure that you count each side individually. Okay, so now I need to figure out my perimeter here. So I've got 11, 11, 10, and 10, 1, 1. So mine is 42 inches is my perimeter. Okay, so I'm gonna glue these down. Got my glue stick here. Do a quick glue. And then if I have some extra time, Fluffy There we go. Okay. So I did that. I figured out my perimeter for Fluffy's yard. You're going to keep this page because we're going to come back and find area in a couple days. But if I have some time on the back of Fluffy's yard, we're going to put the perimeter. It was 42 inches. Describe any extra features you included in the yard and why you included them. So did you put a dog ball? Did you put a chew toy? Did you put a blanket for Fluffy? Does he have some extra food or some treats? And then what do you think why do you think your design would make the best yard for a dog? So you're going to explain. I drew a rectangle, and I like rectangles because I think they gives you the most space to run around, but maybe you drew something that was kind of like stair steps, and why do you think that would be the best shape? Okay, and then again, if you want some practice, you would just do the perimeter for all of these ones because we have not yet done area. Please do not do the area. You're just going to do perimeter. So 1, 2 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, 1 on this side, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Add them all up, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3. Add them up for the perimeter. So these are much more challenging ones, and this is an if you have time and if you would like to challenge yourself. You can do that, and that is all we're doing for today. Good luck, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to reading. This week you will need your lesson 23 packet. If it's still in your workbook, that's fine. You will need this reading packet that is out of your folder. It starts with week 23, but it actually has the next 3 weeks in it. And then you're also going to need your journeys book. So let's go ahead and start with spelling. So at the top of our packet, it says suffixes, full, y, us, li, and So suffixes, if you remember, are they are letters that go to the end of words that change the meaning. So if we have the word beauty, we can add full, and we now have the word beautiful, which means full of beauty. Or we have the word jump, and someone who jumps would be a jumper. He is quite the jumper, she said about the bunny. So we've got a few different suffixes, FUL, Y, OUS, LY, and ER. So if you're looking for your assignment, as always, it's at the top of your checklist. So you'll start on page 120, 126, and 117. So your first job would be to organize your words by their endings. So we have full, LY, and ER. So I'm going to look at my first word. I see the word singer, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in the category it belongs in. I believe it belongs in ER. And go ahead and move to the next word. That's your first job. You've got a couple more pages of spelling to practice. And then let's go ahead and preview the topic. We're going to turn to page 271 in our book here. We are on lesson 23 this week. And here's our preview of the topic. It says, sending messages. Think of all the ways people communicate today. People send messages in many ways, including emails, letters, and postcards, and text messages. Even smiling and waving at another person are ways to communicate. Most animals send messages to each other too. Birds call to each other. Dogs bark warnings and wag their tails to say hello. The journey of Oliver K. Woodman tells the story of how people help the strangely quiet Oliver K. Woodman send messages in interesting and amusing ways. So you're going to think about how you would communicate at school. So in your journal, you are going to write to these questions here. How do you communicate with your teacher? And you can think about when we're in school and right now. In school, if you were trying to communicate me, you might raise your hand, you might write a note, you might come up to my desk and tap me on the shoulder. Right now, your parents might email me or text me, you might video chat me in Zoom. So there's a lot of different options about how you communicate with your teacher. You could do school and right now at home. How do you communicate with your friends? How do you communicate when there is conflict? So if there's something that is going wrong, if you're at recess and you have a difficulty, you're disagreeing on how to play a game, how do you communicate that? How do you work out those problems? Who do you ask for help? And then how do you communicate when you're happy or sad? Are you someone who likes to write thank you notes? Are you someone who likes to be quiet and keep to yourself until you feel better? Do you ask a parent for help when you are upset? And this is what you're going to write in your journal, answering all those questions. Good luck. Okay, boys and girls, so go ahead and make sure you have this sheet in front of you. We talked a little bit in class today about these places: Cairo, Egypt, Honolulu, Hawaii, Kenya, Africa, Lhasa, Tibet, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Yukon Territory, Canada. And we were talking about what kind of climate those places would have depending on where they are in the world. So I'll show you a world map again, but this is not a project we're going to do in teams. You are going to do them by yourself. You are your own team. And you are going to choose what you want to make a model of, a climate model. So you are going to end up drawing it here, and then we're going to build it, and I'll show you kind of what that building looks like in a minute. So what I want you to do is make sure you have this. Our team, with I, will make a climate model of. Do you want to do Egypt, Hawaii, Africa, Tibet, Louisiana, or Canada? You kind of choose what that is, which one you want to do. I'm going to say Yukon Territory. But you get to choose whatever one sounds interesting to you. So I want you to think about what kind of climate do you want to do, or you can just, instead of that, you can just choose a climate. So I know the Yukon Territory is in a polar climate, but you can just choose one of these rather than to do a place or a general climate. So polar, tropic, or so you can choose one of these or a specific place. It doesn't really matter. So one weather-related fact about our places, this is day to day. So weather is like temperature and like sunny, rainy, that kind of thing. Climate is long-term. So does it have seasons? Is it the same all the time? What is it like long-term? And then geography, this would be, where is it in the world? So if I was doing Yukon Territory, Canada, I know that a geography is, it is located at the top of the globe. A climate-related thing, because I know it's in the polar region, its climate, it is cold year round. And then a weather-related, you could say something like, it is always cloudy, it is always freezing cold, it is always, or you need a jacket and warm clothes there, something like that, okay? So I'm filling out this front part, and then on the back here, our team, I am going to model the climate zone of, either I'm gonna write polar, or I'm gonna write Yukon Territory, Canada. You choose. And I'm going to draw here. What does it look like? I'm probably not going to be drawing palm trees here, but I would be drawing some ice, some snow, and then I'm not really sure about the animals, so I might have to do a little bit of research. So here's where your research comes in. Let me share my screen here with you. Okay, so here are the two different maps we took. This is from Mystery Science a couple weeks ago, showing that the polar is way down here at the bottom, polar is up here at the top. This is, in here is your temperate. You've got your mild, which is kind of in between, and then here's your tropic. These are the main ones that we like to focus on in 3rd grade. Over here in the ocean, this is Honolulu, Hawaii. So if I'm looking, if I'm matching these up, here's this red zone right here is the equator right there. Honolulu, where does it fall in here? And look at here, way up here, this is the Yukon Territory. This is where we live. Here's Yukon Territory. Where is that falling on this map? Way up at the top, kind of right up in here. And then I have another map here. Here's the other one. Here's Cairo, Egypt. Here is Kenya, Africa. And way over here, this is Tibet. Louisiana, here's the Louisiana one right here. So where are those climates falling? So you're gonna kind of decide by looking at this map here and looking at this map, what climate do you think it falls in? If you're doing a specific place. If you are going to do just a climate, let me show you this cool website right here. I found this website called Climate Types for Kids. And this has so many more climates than we are doing in class right now. However, this is kind of a fun way to explore different climates. Our world is full of so many more climates than just the 3 that we've been talking about. But this website here, if you pick one, so if I'm doing Yukon Territory, that is a polar region kind of up here. I can choose, I see it's purple up there, so I can choose subarctic. That's probably what it's gonna be. If you were doing Tibet, or if you were doing Kenya, if you were doing Louisiana, you're gonna kind of look at what color. Here's New Orleans right there in the orange, so I would pick humid subtropic there. So you're gonna kind of find generally where is that location on the map and then pick the climate zone that it's in. So if I'm doing my Yukon Territory kind of up here in that purple, which means subarctic, so I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna click subarctic. That's just my choice. You can choose whichever one you wanna do. Now, if I'm on subarctic, here it is, it's showing just that particular climate zone on the map. And then if I were to scroll down, here we go, subarctic, it tells me that it's only found in high latitude, which means it's only up at the top of the map. It's cold, but there's not a lot of precipitation. So but enough falls to cover most of the land in snow for much of the year. It's got a harsh climate, but several animals live there. So it will tell you where it's located, what kind of seasons. The subarctic climate has 2 seasons. I didn't know that. The winter is much longer and extremely cold, with cool to mild summer, only 2 to 3 months. So it's got winter and summer, and that's it. If I keep going, it'll tell me what the temperatures are like, how much precipitation, that means like rain or snow or water, any sort of water that comes out of the air. And then this is what also you need to know, what kind of vegetations or plants? Because if you look over on this page here, not only are you going to do weather, but you're going to do plants, okay? So what kind of vegetation does it have? So it's got some needle trees, some of the conifer trees, and that's basically it. So they kind of look like evergreen trees. So here it's snow covered, here they are without snow, and here's it up close. So I'm gonna make sure that I have a tree. And then what kind of animals? A brown bear, a bobcat. Ooh, mosquitoes. I'm not a huge fan of mosquitoes, but that's okay. So I'm gonna make sure that when I have this paper right here, I make sure that there is snow. I make sure that there is, here's my white. I got my snow here. Down here, you can't really see that. So I make my conifer trees here. I'm gonna draw a bear. Maybe I draw some, but remember it's not really that sunny. So in here, I'm going to draw what kind of animals? Maybe one or two. 1 to 3 animals. Plants. And then weather, climate details. So like sun, snow, rain, that kind of thing. Okay, so after I've done it here, then this is kind of the fun part. So now you guys are going to build it, okay? This is the really cool part. You are gonna choose whatever kind of container you want, but it needs to be clear. So you could pick like a mason jar. This is pretty big, but it's clear, I can see through it. Maybe you have a Tupperware in the kitchen. Maybe mom or dad has like a glass bowl. You gotta be careful, but I think you guys can do it. Now you're going to build your climate zone in here as if this was your entire city, your entire country. What does the climate look like? So I'm gonna build mine, I think in this one, a little bit safer. So I might need some snow. So I'm trying to think, what can I put in here that would be white for snow? You might need to find some dirt. You could literally go out to your yard and put dirt in the bottom if you wanted, or you could just get brown paper and put it in the bottom. That's fine too. However you want to do it is up to you. Maybe you even have like cake in your kitchen and you want to put some chocolate cake for the snow or for the dirt, and then you want to eat it later. It's up to you. You can be as creative as you want, but you're going to create that in here. So I have a white piece of paper. Got to create my snow somehow. It could be a scrap piece of paper, but here is, I got my snow, you guys, okay? Now I need a tree. Now I could go outside. Maybe there's some sticks, maybe there's some branches, or I know that Cece has some Legos laying around, so I'm gonna just put together some Legos, and here is my tree. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I know that this is a tree. It looks similar to my tree here, okay? I'm gonna put this inside here. Now I need to make sure that I have animals as well. So what kind of animals were there? I saw a brown bear, mosquitoes. So I'm gonna look around my house and see if I have any animals that I can put in there. I bet Cece has some little animals. I could draw an animal, that's fine. Draw it on paper, cut it out, stick it in there, that's fine. Or maybe you have some animals, maybe you wanna build one out of Legos or Magna-Tiles or whatever you have at home. Maybe you have, I only have a tiger and a lion right here, and these are not in my climate, so I can't put them in there. But maybe you have other animals around or you want to draw, okay? So this is what you're going to share on Friday is your finished climate zone. Make sure it's a clear container, because if I have something, like I put it in a mug right here, I can't show you what's inside of it through Zoom, okay? So try to make sure that it's in something clear so you can show. And on Friday, what we're gonna do is we're gonna share. So I did the polar climate. Here it is. I've got snow, I've got a tree, I've got a bear. I will have a bear in there by Friday. And you get to be as creative as you want, but it has to be matching your climate. So I hope you have a lot of fun, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.